So, hallo, herzlich willkommen zu einer weiteren Runde Let's Play Zero Escape Virtue's Last Reward. Wir sind an einer interessanten Stelle, wir sind wieder in einem AB-Game. Folgendes. Letzte Folge haben wir rausgefunden, Luna ist kein Mensch. Luna ist ein Golem. Also ein Roboter und entsprechend heißt das, sie ist nicht tot, auch wenn Muskelrelaxanz in ihren Körper gespritzt wurde. Wir haben sie auch tatsächlich gesehen, als sich hinter uns der AB-Room geschlossen hat und sie ist immer noch unser Gegner in dem Spiel. Und wir konnten mit ihrem Armband nicht den Raum betreten. Das heißt, die kann sich dieses Ding nehmen und ebenfalls in einen Raum gehen und dort abstimmen. Die Frage ist, was sie wählen wird. Faye sagt eindeutig Betray, weil sie wahrscheinlich dafür da ist, um uns hier aufzuhalten. Schauen wir mal, was wir wählen. Denn das ist eine Erinnerung, die wir an Luna zum Beispiel haben.
2, 1.
Wie entscheiden wir uns? Der Würfel sagt 3, wir wählen Ally. Und das wird jetzt sehr interessant.
Round 3 of the MAGIX game has been completed. Results will be displayed in the warehouse. Thank you for your participation. MAGIX gates now opening.
Hey, Sigma, are you insane? Why the hell did you choose Ally?
Wait. We can talk about that later. Right now, she's gone. Where'd she go?
That's odd. We came out the moment the gates opened. There's no way she could have left already.
Then... there it was. I thought so. She didn't pick it up. Without the bracelet, she couldn't have voted.
Then she let the system vote Ally for her?
Results from round 3 of the MAGIX game will now be displayed. Please direct your attention to the results screen.
Right, the results.
Yeah. Let's go have a look.
Ja, wir sehen jetzt bei den anderen, die sind tot, entsprechend wird so ein Schädelsymbol angezeigt. Ja.
Points have been assigned or subtracted accordingly. Please check your bracelet to see your updated bracelet points.
Since Luna didn't vote, she got set to ally automatically. And the other 6 got penalized. Here are some more AB game rules for you. Not voting is not an option. If both parties refuse to vote, then every bunny gets penalized. In other words, one person out of every color group of 3 has to vote. Then again, 5 of them are already dead. We don't know where Quark is, but his bracelet's already off.
Yeah. That means all those penalties are meaningless. Why did Luna show up then? I mean, we've got our 9 BP now, but... Alright. What do you want to do, Sigma? Do you want to leave?
What? You're kidding, right? Weren't you the one who kept going on about how Quark's still alive? I can't just run off and leave him here.
You sure?
Yeah.
Well, that's a relief. I was hoping you'd say that. Now let's get moving. We need to find Quark.
And Luna too, right?
Luna.
The Ambidex gates have closed. Round 4 of the Ambidex game will be the Star Round. Star keys are required to open the gates.
Ich muss sagen, auch gerade, dass Luna eben kein Mensch ist, wirft ein ganz anderen Blickwinkel auf die Sachen, die sie da teilweise erzählt hat. Ich sag nur, die 3 Robotergesetze von Asimov hat sie jetzt zum Beispiel mehrfach erwähnt. Ist eine interessante Sache jetzt, würde ich mal behaupten. Und Luna hat als einziger Charakter bisher, außer vielleicht Quark, nie Betray gewählt. Als einziger Charakter. Phi and I checked our bracelets out of sheer reflex. I was a magenta pair just like before, but Phi had changed to a red solo. It didn't really matter though. Both of our bracelets showed the number 9. All we had to do was open the number 9 door, and we'd never have to play another AB game again.
Alright. Quark comes first. Let's go.
She spun around and headed for the cyan door. I followed on her heels. Bisher finden sie ihn wohl nicht. Ich möchte behaupten, dass die Axt, die Kay im Rücken hat, definitiv keine Axt ist, die man normalerweise verwendet hätte. Also es gab zwar sowas wie die Dänen-Axt, aber die ist zum Beispiel einseitig. Ja.
Sigma, there's something I want to ask you.
What is it?
There are 3 doors here. You, Alice, and Luna went through the one on the right. That took you to the Golem Bay, correct?
Yeah. According to the map, that's the door on the bottom. There's a lever on that thing in the middle, right? We pulled it, but it only opened one of the doors. What about it?
Take a look. See the lock?
Open?
Yeah.
Then who the hell opened it? And how?
There's only one person who could have opened it.
Luna.
Alright, let's head in.
Okay. What the heck are these things?
I think they're treatment pods of some sort.
What meant Pots? Ja, innerhalb dieser Zeitlinie sind die nie ins Treatment Center gekommen. Even as I spoke, part of me knew what they were. I didn't know how or why. But I felt a strong sense of déjà vu when I looked at them and suddenly realized I knew exactly how to operate the pods. It was a strange, unsettling feeling, as if somewhere deep inside was a version of myself that I didn't actually know.
One of them is lit up.
The one on the left. Is it being used?
The glass is all fogged up. I can't really see inside.
Let's crack it open then.
Yeah.
Quark! Our feet pounded across the floor on the of the warehouse.
This is it.
Quark's body bounced in my arms as I ran. His pulse and breathing were normal. He was limp and unconscious, but he was alive. The pod's display had given us a little information on his condition. As far as we could tell, he'd been given an anesthetic which had put him to sleep.
Ready? What's wrong? You're supposed to say, yeah, sure.
Is it really okay for us to just leave?
What the hell is this? You want to stay here? What if Luna kills you too?
What?
Think about it. Alice, Clover, Tenmyoji, the old woman, even Dio and Kay. There's a good chance Luna killed all of them.
But why?
Why doesn't matter. Remember what we saw on Clover's thigh?
016.
And what's that the same number as?
The last 3 digits of Luna's product ID.
Where did we find the old woman's corpse?
In the AB room that Luna came out of.
And if you're right, her brain is in the central computer core. That means she could have easily moved that crane, right? She could have used it anytime she wanted.
That means any alibi she might have for not being able to move the crane is worthless.
Exactly. She must have moved the AB room. Alice noticed it right away. At the very least, that would mean Luna had a reason to try and kill Alice.
To keep her quiet.
She could also have murdered Dio and Kay. Remember their star keys? Luna must have taken them, which puts her in the room with Dio and Kay. You understand, don't you? I admit none of this evidence is conclusive, but look at our options. You, me, Quark, and Luna. Who do you think is the most likely to be the murderer? Think this through, Sigma. Luna's a golem. That means she's a robot that's part of this facility, designed to do God knows what. If what you said about golems and the central computer is true, she's basically a puppet of Zero Junior's. There isn't really much of an argument to be made here. The only option is to leave her here and get out.
Have you ever heard of the 3 laws of robotics?
A robot may not injure a human being or, through inaction, allow a human being to come to harm.
A robot without the 3 laws is just a bunch of metal and plastic.
Okay. You're right. Let's get out of here.
Damn. Don't scare me like that. Okay, I'm going to open it. You ready?
You don't have to ask me. Isn't that what you always say?
Yeah, I guess so. It's time we got out of here. Let's go.
With a heavy, labored groan, the number 9 door began to open. As soon as the gap was wide enough to admit her body, Fi slipped through it. I followed her through, Quark still cradled in my arms. Inside was a massive lift platform, like the kind used to move industrial cargo. Fi turned to face me, and I shoved Quark into her arms.
Huh?
Before she could respond, I spun around and ran.
The number 9 door has been opened. It will remain open for 9 seconds.
Sigma! What the hell are you thinking? Get back here!
Sorry, Phi. There's something I have to do. Take care of Quark.
No! You don't mean you're going to go find Luna? God damn it, Sigma! Think about what you're doing! Sigma! Listen to me! You can't do this!
The number 9 door has closed. This ends the nonary game. Thank you for your participation. As the game is over, all doors other than the number 9 door have been unlocked. Escape is not possible. Please enjoy your stay.
I had no regrets. In fact, with Phi and Quark's successful escape, I felt a profound sense of relief. One of my objectives had been achieved and a difficult choice had been made. My mind felt clear and focused, more so than it had in a long time. All right, time to go. Luna's waiting. Luna, I knew you'd be here.
You knew?
Oh, right. We haven't talked here in this one, huh?
Isn't this nice? This is the only place in this whole facility with anything green. I kind of feel silly saying it, but it makes me think of the great outdoors. I think it's the perfect place for a serious conversation. Being surrounded by nature makes me feel happy. I'm not sure what you meant just now, but are you talking about something that happened in another history?
What?
I know what you can do. Someone told me about it once. They said that you have the ability to transport your consciousness through time.
Who told you that? Luna looked down at the music box around her neck. Carefully and delicately she twisted the dial on the bottom.
Sigma, aren't you here to ask me something? Why I killed them, perhaps?
Well, actually I already know that you didn't do it.
Oh? Why do you think I didn't do it? I'd like to know your reasoning.
All right. I nodded and took a moment to compose my thoughts. Might as well start with the old woman. There's no point beating around the bush, I suppose. Dio killed her.
Why do you think so?
Her left arm had blood splatter all the way up to the elbow, except for a stripe on the wrist that was perfectly clean. What could have caused that? My guess is a bracelet. It could cover it with blood and kept her wrist clean. Obviously, none of our bracelets had blood splatter on them, but Dio's bracelet reacted to luminol. That meant Dio's bracelet had to have come from the old woman.
Is that your proof? That's why you think Dio killed her?
No, that's only enough to suspect him. After all, he could have just taken the bracelet after someone else killed her.
Then why are you so sure?
Because he confessed.
What?
After his bracelet reacted to the luminol, I confronted him.
Alright, fine. You caught me, I did it. I killed the old bitch and took her bracelet.
Wait, when did that happen?
In a different timeline.
Isn't that against the rules?
Schöner Spruch. What rules? I hope you're not going to try and bring up Nox 10 Commandments. Das ist übrigens sehr schön. Nox's 10 Commandments ist eine Sache, ich glaube von einem Kriminalautor. 10 Regeln beim Schreiben von, ich glaube, Krimi- und Mystery-Geschichten, die so Übersinnliches und sowas komplett ausschließen. Finde ich sehr lustig. Insbesondere, weil dieses Spiel es schafft, jedes dieser 10 Gebote zu brechen. Naja. Does it really matter if it's against the rules of fair? The truth is the truth. Let's say that incident P happens, and after that the timeline splits into timeline A and timeline B. I don't think it's unfair to base a theory in timeline A on information I found in timeline B. After all, A and B both came from the same place, P. If you traced the history of both timelines, you'd end up back at incident P. Now, if I could change what happened with incident P by visiting timeline A or B, then yes, it'd be a different story. I don't know that it'd be unfair, per se, but I'd certainly be breaking some pretty big rules. Like, you know, the principle of causality. I'm sure that Dio killed the old woman. By extension, that means you couldn't have killed her. I'm assuming Dio wasn't originally intended to be part of the nonary game. Somehow he got in and took the old woman's place. That's how he ended up as Quark's partner. This is just an educated guess, but I have a feeling his plan was to replace one of us. I doubt it mattered which one. I have no idea why he would want to do something like that, and I don't know how he did it either. But the fact remains that he did. He hid in the warehouse on floor A and waited for someone to come out of one of the AB rooms. That someone turned out to be the old woman. She left Quark asleep in the AB room and came out on her own. Somehow he managed to get close enough to stab her. He did it near the wall with the graffiti on it. I'm guessing he stabbed her from behind so that he wouldn't get any blood on himself. As soon as she was dead, he wrapped the knife up in the handkerchief. No, wait, actually. He probably took her bracelet first. Then he would have needed to wipe the blood off, so he used the handkerchief for that too. Anyway, the point is that he got the bracelet and put it on. Then he wrapped the knife up and hid it between the rightmost AB room and its neighbor. He probably didn't expect that they'd move, or he would have put it somewhere else. After that, he headed back into the AB room that the woman had left. Quark would have still been fast asleep, so as far as he knew, Dio was there the whole time. This does raise a few other questions, but I'll save those for later. For now, let's move on to the other murders. Well, actually, one of them probably isn't a murder.
What do you mean?
I'm talking about Alice. I'm pretty sure she committed suicide.
All of humanity is going to die. Adults, children, everyone. Everyone! There won't be anyone left! I'd rather die here!
She'd been infected with Radical 6. I think that infection caused her to take her own life. She used Dio's knife, which she'd found in the warehouse after the AB room moved and exposed it. She took it with her, and then used it to stab herself in the crew quarters. In manchen anderen Zeitlinien hat sie stattdessen ein Skalpell in der Brust. Next are Clover and Temioji. The first question is, who put the handcuffs on them? The clue is the message Clover left, 016. If you think about it though, it doesn't make sense. Clover's left hand was in the handcuffs. That means she would have had to write with her right hand on her right thigh. I feel like it would be really hard to do that, you know. Why not just use your left thigh? The thing is, I think she did. When she died, her legs slumped together and the message got transferred to the right thigh. We just never saw the original because we didn't bother to check the other leg. In other words, she wasn't trying to write 016. She was trying to write Dio. With her dying breath, she was trying to tell us the name of her killer. Now about Kay and Dio. I think there's a pretty good chance Dio killed Kay. Here's how I imagine it happened. Kay probably sprayed Dio's bracelet with the luminol. We found the bottle in Kay's robe. He wouldn't have seen the reaction immediately, but Dio would have known what was coming. As soon as Kay turned the lights off, it would be clear that Dio had taken the old woman's bracelet. My guess is he decided to take preemptive action. When he found their bodies, the lights in the rec room were on. When we found it. Maybe Kay turned to switch the light off and Dio took that opportunity to attack him. Kay was hurt pretty badly, but he didn't die right away. He probably managed to grab the spear and stab Dio. Then he died. So that accounts for all 6 bodies, none of them your fault.
Sigma, I'm glad you don't think I did it, but all of your theories are just, well, theories. Like Alice committing suicide. How can you be sure? Say she was infected with Radical 6. She could have been murdered before her symptoms even began to present themselves. As for Clover and Tenmyoji, I could easily have killed them. You don't have any proof that Clover's message was mirrored like you say, or even that it was supposed to refer to Dio. Even if it did, that's not conclusive evidence of his guilt. The same goes for Kay and Dio. I could have killed them both. Why do you trust me so much? I'm a machine. I'm part of this place. How can you trust a machine?
That's why I trust you.
What?
I trust you because you're a robot. Your robotness is just one more reason you can't be the killer. Well, 3 more reasons.
Have you ever heard of the 3 laws of robotics?
Rule 1. A robot may not injure a human being or, through inaction, allow a human being to come to harm.
A robot without the 3 laws is just a bunch of metal and plastic. Sigma.
Luna, I have to ask you. Can you tell me, well, everything you know? Your mind is in the central server. You should know everything that's happened here. There was a long pause. Luna stood up and walked deeper into the garden. I followed her in silence. Eventually we reached the bench. Luna quietly sat down and just like last time, I lowered myself down beside her.
You were right. I didn't kill them. How should I explain? Well, actually, you got most of it right.
That doesn't matter. Tell me everything.
Well, first, yes, Dio did sneak into the facility. He used the large cargo elevator and came into the warehouse on floor A through the number 9 door. Since the game hadn't started yet, anyone could go through it.
That doesn't really sound like sneaking. It sounds more like he just walked in.
Yes, I guess you could say that. He did get in pretty easily, but that's because Zero Jr. lured him here.
What do you mean?
Dio wasn't a surprise. Both Zeros knew that he was going to come.
So they brought him here?
In a way,
But why?
because his presence was an important part of Zero's project.
What project?
I can't go into that right now. We'd be here forever. Right now, let's just focus on the murders, okay? Anyway, Dio found his way in. They made sure he didn't know that he was actually being let in.
So why did he come here?
To make sure Zero's project failed. His first step was to pretend to be one of the players. As for how he did that, you had it pretty much right. The old woman was the first one out, and he killed her under the graffiti. He put her bracelet on after he wiped the blood off it with the handkerchief. Then he wrapped the knife up and hid it between the 5th and 6th AB rooms,
5th and 6th?
counting from the left in their original placement.
In other words, the rightmost room would be the 6th room and the one next to it would have been the 5th?
Right. After that, he went back into the 5th AB room where Quark was sleeping. Then he just waited for Quark to wake up.
What were you doing while that was happening?
Nothing. I couldn't do anything. My body had been turned off. Zero Jr. had powered me down. My body wasn't activated until after Dio went into the 5th room. I couldn't help her. All I could do was watch while she was murdered. Everything in this place is controlled by Zero Jr. I couldn't try and prevent Dio from getting in either.
Wait, if Zero Jr. controls everything, then he was the one who moved the 6th room with a crane?
Yes, that's right. Zero Jr. moved the room, not me.
Then who moved the old woman?
Me. It took me 10 minutes to get out of my AB room once I was turned back on. I ran over to check on her as soon as I did. Then I carried her back to the room I'd been in.
Why did you do that?
Because I was ordered to.
What?
Luna, listen to me very carefully. As you already know, the final stage of the project begins in 2 hours. This will be the culmination of many years of hard work. We cannot afford failure.
Yes, I understand.
Then let's make sure. What is your mission?
Enter the nonary game as one of the participants and observe the actions of the other players. Ensure that they do what they are supposed to and guide them down the correct paths.
How many players will there be?
Myself and 7 others, ma'am. Will you be participating as well?
Yes. Our plan dictates that I must. An individual by the name of Dio will be entering this facility presently. He has been led to believe he is doing so undetected. You've been briefed on him already, correct?
Yes. He will murder the first person to leave one of the AB rooms and take their place. If a pair is the first out, he'll probably kill both of them. That's all the information I've been given on him, ma'am.
Is there a problem?
With all due respect, ma'am, I would like to state that I don't feel right about this. We know someone is going to be killed, and we're just going to let it happen? I also have doubts about the use of Radical 6. Are you sure? Infecting all these people with such a horrible disease.
That is none of your concern. Your only concern is to follow your orders.
But
Luna, I am giving you an order. I am in command and you do as I say. You are programmed to do as I say. You know this.
Yes.
Ich möchte auch noch kurz was erwähnen. Wir können natürlich hier auch sehr viel Parallelen zu Kays Geschichte ziehen. Die alte Frau war für Kay ja so eine Art Mutterfigur und vorher hat Kays Vater ihm einen Roboter gebaut, der seine Mutter spielen sollte. Ich denke, das ist jetzt selbsterklärend. Das erklärt, was Kay und Luna mit der ganzen Sache zu tun hatten und was die, streng genommen, die haben keine große Verbindung zueinander innerhalb der Geschichte, aber das führt das Ganze natürlich auch schon wieder zusammen, dass diese beiden mehr oder weniger zu diesem Ort gehören.
Good. Now, I have one final order.
Another order, ma'am?
Yes. When you leave the AB room, the person Dio has killed will still be there. I would like you to move them.
Where?
To the room you are about to enter. The 6th AB room.
But why?
Not your concern. As a participant in the game, you must have as little knowledge of it as possible. That is why I have made sure you are unable to access any classified data. There are things you must not know. In order for this project to succeed, we need you to be as close to a clean slate as possible. There are some things you already know, which ideally you would not. Unfortunately, this is unavoidable, so you must refrain from divulging anything you know about the project to the other participants. You must never tell anyone what you know about Dio, or the body, or that you carried it to the 6th AB room. You will have to pretend you know nothing more than the rest of the participants.
Is that an order?
Yes. Do I make myself clear?
Yes. After that, I went into the AB room as I'd been told to. As soon as I stepped inside, my body deactivated. But since my brain is in the main computer, I was still awake. So I still saw everything. While I waited, I used the security cameras to see what was going on in the rest of the facility.
And you saw the old woman being murdered.
Yes. It was hard. What I was seeing made no sense. Several of my higher level processes nearly failed. To think that she would be the first person to come out. I think she knew that Dio was going to kill her. When she'd said she had one final order for me, I didn't understand what she meant. Like a fool, I told her I didn't approve, when I had no idea what she was prepared to do. When she died, whatever I have that passes for a heart felt like it snapped in two.
I think I understand. Everything you did because you've been ordered to?
Yes.
And it was the old woman who gave you those orders? Then is she a Zero Senior?
No.
What? But if she gave you the orders...
She did, but she wasn't the only person I took orders from.
There was someone else?
Yes.
And that person is Zero Senior?
Yes. They worked together to develop the project she mentioned.
Mit anderen Worten, Zero Senior ist der Vater von Kay, so wie es aussieht.
So I suppose technically my orders came from both of them. And they were both controlling Zero Jr. too. I told you before that Zero Jr. moved the 6th AB room. Although that's strictly true, he didn't do it of his own free will. They ordered him to do it. He was following orders just like me.
But why?
I don't know. I really don't. Maybe they did it so that people wouldn't suspect me.
If they didn't want people to suspect you, then why have you moved the body in the first place? Eventually, we'd figure out that the rooms had been moved, and that she was in your room.
Then maybe they wanted the opposite.
You mean,
Maybe they wanted you to suspect me.
that doesn't make sense either. If they wanted people to suspect you, why move the room?
You're right. Then maybe they only wanted certain people to be suspicious of me.
You mean like Alice?
Yes. Perhaps they wanted Alice to find the handkerchief and the knife. That would explain why they moved the room.
So they somehow knew Dio would hide the knife there?
Yes, I think so.
But how could they know that?
Well, whatever the reasons were, Alice did notice that the room was moved, which meant that Clover also figured it out. And just like you said, Alice used the knife to take her life. Clover didn't realize that, though. Or perhaps she didn't want to. In any event, she decided that I must have killed Alice to keep her quiet. So she confronted me. It was right after the second round of the AB game. Using Phi's timetable, that would be 0 hours, 0 minutes.
Wait. You were listening to us in the security office?
Yes. That wasn't all I was listening to, though. I know everything that happened in the facility after my body collapsed.
You were watching through the security cameras?
Yes, I was. I could see and hear everything. Anyway, we're at 0 hours, 0 minutes. I was in the hallway on floor A when Clover found me and took me to room 2 in the crew quarters. We entered at about 0 hours, 1 minute. She was very forceful.
I know you killed Alice. Tell me the truth and I'll let you live. Now fess up! I'm only gonna give you one chance. If you lie or try to play dumb or something, I'll kill you right in front of her!
I told her the truth, of course. I explained that I hadn't killed Alice, that she'd been infected with Radical 6, and it had caused her to kill herself. Clover was never going to believe that, though. We argued about it for nearly 9 minutes. It wasn't just Alice she asked me about. She asked me about the murder of the old woman, and about the AB room being moved. She wasn't very nice about it, but I couldn't answer any of her questions.
Because of your orders?
Yes. Then, at about 0 hours, 10 minutes, she must have run out of patience. She stuck her hand in her pocket and started moving toward me. She backed me up against the wall and pulled her hand out of her pocket. She was holding the injection gun. I tried to take it away from her. I even screamed for help. She refused to let go, of course, while we were fighting over it.
Whoa, hold on a minute. The trigger got pulled in the fight, I get that part. What I don't understand is why it did anything to you.
You mean because I'm a golem?
Yeah.
One of my orders was always to act like I was one of the players. A human. Any human injected with that amount of tubocurarine would die.
That's why you, died? To keep up the facade that you were human? Da kann man auch noch was zu sagen, nämlich in dem Clover-Ende, wo sie alle quasi im Blutlachen liegen. Da fällt auf, Kay ist nicht im Bild, aber Luna liegt in der Blutlache. In der roten wohlgemerkt. Obwohl sie eigentlich mit dem ABT, wenn überhaupt, dann weißes Blut haben müsste. Aber das ist wahrscheinlich auch ein Trick gewesen, dass sie entweder jemanden zur Seite gezogen hat und sich da hingelegt hat, oder vielleicht hat sich auch Kay da umgebracht. Oder Kay ist woanders hingegangen und hat sich was Schwereres gesucht, womit durch sein Metall kommt. Man weiß es nicht. Das wird nicht genau erklärt, aber das erklärt, warum sie, wenn alle anderen sich umbringen, plötzlich da in so einer Blutlache liegt. Na, weiter.
No. I collapsed because Zero Jr. turned off the power to my body again. He probably felt he had to. Maintaining the illusion that I was human was probably in his orders too. So to make it look like I had died, he'd turned the power off. Whatever the case, it was an accident. I don't think Clover ever intended to actually kill me. She only took the injection gun to try and threaten me.
How can you be sure?
When I collapsed, she looked terrified. She checked for my pulse and listened to see if I was breathing. She also shook my body and called out to me several times. If she'd meant to kill me, why do all that? After a few moments, she ran off to the infirmary to get the AED.
You mean the defibrillator?
Yes,
That uses an electric shock to restart the heart, right?
correct.
So that was why she left?
Yes.
At 0 hours 11 minutes 40 seconds, Clover left the cabin in the crew quarters.
She ran off toward the infirmary. On the way, she bumped into Dio.
Dio?
Yes. I guess she just saw him, really. They didn't talk. She just ran past.
And he just watched her go by?
Yes. I imagine he was curious, of course. He probably wondered what she was doing. But he chose not to go after her. He had something else to do.
At 0 hours 12 minutes, Dio enters the room.
He seemed pretty surprised to find my body.
Yeah, I bet.
It didn't take him long to get over it, though.
Wouldn't imagine it would. What did he do then?
He'd gone there for two reasons. One was to get Alice's bracelet, which was a blue solo.
Right. Without it, Dio and Kay, the yellow pair, wouldn't be able to get through the secondary door. Right?
Yeah, but he couldn't find it.
Of course. Fi had already taken it by then.
Yes, but there was something else he wanted to do too. He was there to take the knife. Removing it was gruesome.
But why did he want the knife? Was it because he'd used it to kill the old woman?
No, I don't think so.
Then what do you think?
I think he didn't want anyone to see the engraving on the knife's blade. That's why he hid it so well after he killed the old woman.
Why wouldn't he want anyone to see that?
Do you remember what it said? There was a word engraved on the blade.
Myrmidons?
Yes.
Eigentlich auch eine sehr dumme Idee, oder? Egal. What does Myrmidons mean?
It's the name of the organization he belongs to.
What is it? Like a club or something?
I don't think so.
Well, what is it then?
I don't really know.
No idea?
I'm afraid not.
Wait, wasn't he here to try and stop whatever Zero was doing?
Yes.
Then... Wouldn't that mean that he's on our side?
I don't know about that. He's killed 4 people. I'm not really sure he's on anyone's side.
You've got a point. Damn it, this is ridiculous. I guess this enemy of my enemy isn't my friend, huh?
May I continue?
Yeah, keep going. After he took the knife, Dio riffled through what a few belongings Alice had. Luna said he didn't seem to be looking for anything in particular. He was probably just checking to see if she had anything useful. That was where he found the key to Kay's suit. He didn't seem to have any particular reason for taking it, at least as far as Luna could tell. At 0 hours 13 minutes, Dio left the room.
He heard Kay opening the cyan door and ran out. When he left, he was heading toward the infirmary. My guess is that he was going after Clover. He found her with the AED. She was probably planning to just ignore him and head back, but Dio didn't let her.
Hey, wait. Just what are you planning to do with that thing? Thinking about trying to resuscitate Luna? And why would you want to do that? You were the one who killed her, weren't you?
When Clover tried to push past Dio, Luna said they began to fight.
The fuck do you think you're doing?
Dio pulled the knife out of his pocket and pointed it at Clover's throat. That was when he showed up.
Dio, what the hell are you doing? None of your goddamn business. Stay out of this, you senile old shit.
Like hell, you son of a bitch!
He let out a yell and leapt toward Dio. The younger man dodged him easily and lashed out with a knife. Tenmyoji caught Dio's hand with a grunt, and for a moment the two men struggled. Then, as the knife edged closer, he wrapped his other hand around the blade and tried to force it away. But Dio was a much younger and stronger man, and the wound Tenmyoji gave himself with the knife didn't do him any favors. He put up a valiant fight, but with a roar, Dio threw him off, and Tenmyoji collapsed to the floor.
What are you going to do?
Let's see. How about this? How cute. You two really look great together, you know?
What are you going to do to us?
Isn't it obvious? I'm gonna handcuff you to a sink. Actually, I already have.
Are you gonna beat us to death or something?
No. Nothing so tasteless.
What are you going to do then?
How'd you like to make a bet?
A bet?
You've got, 20-some minutes until the primary white doors open. So I'd say you've got 25 minutes until they close, give or take. If somebody happens to come by here before the doors close, you might live. But if nobody finds you, well...
We'll be penalized.
Exactly. So, I suggest you start screaming for help now. Unfortunately for you, just about all the rooms in this place are behind at least 2 nice thick doors. So unless they're pretty close, nobody's gonna hear you scream. Well, I'm off to the Floor B warehouse, okay? Enjoy your last 25 minutes. Later.
Ursprünglich war die Szene übrigens deutlich grausamer geplant.
25 minutes passed and no one came.
Also das Spiel ist ja generell düster, aber es war zum Beispiel, wie ich das mal gelesen habe, zumindest laut Aussagen der Entwickler des Spiels, zeitweise in der Diskussion, dass der Kerl noch was mit Clover anstellt oder denen ein Messer dalässt, damit die theoretisch einer sich die Hand abschneiden kann. Also so schön wie hieß der Film? Diese Bergsteigernummer mit James Franco. Egal. Das waren Sachen, die ursprünglich noch geplant waren, die man aber rausgenommen hat als Option, weil das wäre selbst für diese Spiele zu krass gewesen. Also, nach 25 Minuten war keiner da.
Of course, by then there were only 3 other people who could have come, apart from Dio.
You mean me, Phi, and Kay, right?
Yes. You were in the crew quarters at this point.
Yeah. Kay had told us about you. We'd also noticed that the knife in Alice's chest had been removed. If only we'd known what was happening in the infirmary.
Unfortunately for Clover and Tenmyoji, their time had come. Once the primary white door closed, both of their bracelets injected them with Soparil.
The anesthetic, right?
Yes. Almost immediately they started to feel sleepy. I think that's when Clover realized she was definitely going to die. That was when she decided to leave her message. Just as you said, she wrote on her left thigh with her right hand.
And the word she wrote was Dio.
Yes.
Stellt sich die Frage, warum sie den Buchstaben klein schreiben würde. Ja, wobei, das ist einfacher zu unterscheiden. Also, wenn man mal eben schnell ein großes D hinschmiert, kann das auch vielleicht aussehen wie ein O.
As for what happened in the rec room, well, I guess I don't really need to tell you. Your theory was essentially correct. What you said was what happened.
So Kay sprayed Dio's bracelet with illuminol, and then while his back was turned, Dio attacked him with the axe. Dio mortally wounded him but didn't kill him, so Kay turned around and stabbed Dio with a spear. And I guess that's when we found them.
Yes.
When did Kay get the luminol?
After they went through the white door, Dio and Kay found themselves in the director's office. When they were done there, they headed back to floor A to look for everyone else. They went to the crew quarters first, then to the infirmary. Of course, they found Clover and Tenmyoji's bodies there. Dio expected to find them, of course, but he pretended to be shocked. Anyway, Kay checked them over for anything useful.
And that was when he found the luminol.
Right. That's everything that happened. Do you have any questions?
Well, what do you think? Does a bear shit in the woods? Well, the first thing is Quark's bracelet. Why was it in the infirmary?
Tenmyoji had it. Then when Dio attacked him, it fell out of his pocket.
But why did Tenmyoji have Quark's bracelet?
I told him where it was.
When?
Do you remember when you were in the rec room with Phi and Tenmyoji?
Yeah, when he sprayed us with the luminol, right? Sure, I remember that.
Right after then. When he left the rec room, he went toward the green door to look for Quark. I ran into him at the end of the hallway, where the 3 doors and the switch are. That was when I told him. Look, Tenmyoji. The center door is unlocked. He took off through it without another word.
That was the treatment room, right?
Yes,
Where Quark was sleeping?
right. It only took him a moment. As soon as he saw Quark, he ran to his pod and started crying.
Out of relief, right?
Yes. The display on the pod showed Quark's vital signs. It was obvious he was alive the moment you looked at it. Next to the pod was Quark's bracelet. That was how Tenmyoji got it.
Why was Quark's bracelet off?
I took it off.
How?
Aluminum foil.
What? You mean the stuff from the crew quarters?
Oh, you found it? Did you know that aluminum foil has electromagnetic shielding properties?
What?
Here's an exciting fact. Your heart creates a bunch of faint electrical impulses. Anyway, the point is that you can detect the electricity that your heart makes by pumping blood. Your fancy little bracelets pick up on that. They're always watching.
Wait, so you're telling me the aluminum foil can block the electromagnetic waves your heart sends out?
Yes. All you have to do is wrap it around your bracelet.
And the bracelet thinks your heart has stopped.
Yes.
Holy shit. It was that easy all along.
Anyway, I used some aluminum foil to get Quark's bracelet off. Then I put it next to the pod.
Wait. Why was Quark in the pod to begin with?
Oh, that's easy. I put him there.
When did you do that?
Remember when we were first looking for Quark? I found him unconscious near the entrance to the Golem Bay.
So you carried him to the treatment pod?
Yes.
Were you the one who unlocked the treatment center too?
No, I was not. I do not have the authority to operate any of this facility's machinery.
So it was Zero Jr.?
That's right.
He reactivated your body too, right? Man, I don't get any of this. Why the hell did he do that? I guess it wasn't really him that did it, huh? He was just doing what Zero Senior and the old lady told him to do. Everything leads back to them, huh? Heh, of course it does. So, are you going to tell me?
Tell you what?
Isn't that obvious? Tell me what this project is. Everything that happens in here has something to do with it. So why were we brought here?
To play the nonary game.
And why were we supposed to play the nonary game?
That was part of the project.
Why did Alice kill herself?
Because she was infected with Radical 6.
How did she get infected?
Zero Senior and the old woman did that.
Why?
It was a necessary evil. It had to happen for the project to succeed.
What would have happened if Alice hadn't committed suicide?
Clover wouldn't have suspected me, and she wouldn't have accidentally, killed me.
Then what?
I wouldn't have collapsed, and Dio wouldn't have found my body. That would have meant the confrontation in the infirmary never took place.
In other words, you're saying Clover and Temiyoji died for this project.
Yes.
Well, actually, it was the tuberculin that killed them. But they were only injected with it because of their bracelets. And they were only wearing those bracelets because of the nonary game. If the nonary game was part of the project, then that's one more way it killed them.
I guess. If you want to look at it that way.
Now what about Kay and Dio? Why would they kill each other?
Because Dio killed the old woman. He was worried about getting caught, so he tried to kill Kay before he could find out the truth.
Then if Dio hadn't killed the old lady, what happened in the rec room would never have taken place, right?
Yes.
So let me ask you this. Why did Dio kill her?
So that he could pose as one of the participants.
And why did he do that?
To disrupt the project.
Then why did she let him kill her?
The same reason they did all of this. It was a necessary evil. The project couldn't be allowed to fail.
Six people died here. 4 of them were murdered, one way or another by Dio. At first, that makes it look like Dio's the reason they all died, but that's not true, is it? All 6 of them, they all died for this project. That means that the murderer, or I guess I should say murderers, were the old lady and Zero Senior, right? Please, Luna, tell me, what is this project about? Who is the old woman? Who is Zero Senior?
Sigma. Would you hug me?
What? Instead of answering, Luna wrapped her arms around me and buried her face in my chest. My own arms hovered in the air, confused about where they should go. I swallowed hard and tried to rein in my heartbeat, which had suddenly doubled. I was about to speak when I felt something warm on my chest. Was Luna crying?
This feels nice.
Her voice shook as she spoke. I lowered one hand to her head and began to gently stroke her hair. Hey, Luna. What the hell is going on?
I'm sorry. My ABT is usually held in place by muscle fiber. But after Clover gave me the tubocurarine...
Okay. I get it.
Does it scare you? This is what I really look like. I'm a golem. Just a machine. A jumble of metal and plastic that pretends to be real.
I wrapped my arms around Luna and hugged her as tight as I could.
You believed in me this whole time.
Yeah.
Even though I look like this?
Of course. I trust you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I wish I could stay here forever. You feel so nice. But I think my time is up.
What?
I've done things I really shouldn't have. Do you remember what you asked me earlier? About if Zero Jr. had reactivated my body? Remember? The truth is, he didn't. I did. I went to the part of the core that controls Zero Jr. and I hacked it.
What?
Yes, that was the first thing. The second. Do you know what the second one was? If I had really wanted to, I could have saved Clover and Tenmyoji. Then Kei and Dio probably wouldn't have killed each other. That's not all. I could have stopped Alice from killing herself, and I could have even saved the old woman at the very beginning. In other words, I had the ability to disobey my orders. But I didn't. That's the second thing. I broke the first law. I was scared. I was afraid to die. Obviously, hacking the core and taking control of Zero Jr.'s systems is very, very bad. Golems who don't follow orders can become dangerous, so we're terminated if we disobey. You lose access to your body, of course, but everything that's stored in the core, your memories, your consciousness, is deleted.
What? Wait, are you saying...
Yes. Very soon now I'll be gone. Zero Jr. is probably recovering himself right now. Once he's done, I doubt I'll be around much longer.
What? Why?
I watched 6 people die and did nothing. I deserved this.
No. No, you don't. Even if you had done something, you would have been killed anyway. You can't blame yourself. You did what you could. You're not wrong. This game is what's wrong. Forcing you to watch your friends die is what's wrong.
Oh, Sigma. Thank you. I'm really glad I met you.
Luna! Luna! It's going to be okay. I'm not gonna let them do this. You're gonna be fine, I promise. Just please don't...
I'm sorry. My time's up. At least I get to die in your arms.
Luna!
Thank you, Sigma. And goodbye, Doctor.
Doctor? But she couldn't answer. I squeezed my eyes shut and held her, unable to bear the thought of letting any more of her slip away. With one last quiet chime, the music box wound down. I was left with nothing but silence and the cold pool of tears over my heart. Boah, ich muss sagen, das ist einfach eine unfassbar traurige Stelle, finde ich. Da kann man sagen, was man will. Das, na gut, erstens ist es ein fiktiver Charakter, aber das heißt ja nichts. Bei Bambi weinen die Leute auch, aber ich finde einfach diese Stelle so unfassbar traurig, dass da... Ja... dass das mit Luna passieren muss. Und ja, auch... Es ist ein fiktiver Roboter, streng genommen eigentlich eher eine KI als ein Roboter, weil der Roboter ist halt nur die Plattform, auf der sie agiert. Aber es ist... Also ich werde gleich, glaube ich, auch den Abspann weiter überspringen, aber da kann man sagen, was man will. Für mich ist Luna in diesem Spiel, also in dieser Spielwelt, eine Person. Und also klar, das ist alles fiktiv und sie ist in dieser Geschichte auch eben eine künstliche Intelligenz und nicht wirklich ein Lebewesen. Aber ich finde, diese Szene, die sorgt einfach dafür, dass das ihm trotzdem richtig ans Herz geht. Das letzte Wort lässt einen zwar auch wieder mit einer Frage zurück, aber ja. Ich muss sagen, das ist einfach gerade dadurch, dass es so traurig ist, eine der Szenen, die ich in diesem Spiel am meisten liebe und gleichzeitig hasse. Also ich finde, es tut schon so ein bisschen weh, Luna auf die Art, sterben zu sehen. Wenn die KI gelöscht wird, ja. Na komm, reicht es dann mit dem Abspann. Das war das Luna-Ende. Und ich finde, das hat sie echt nicht verdient. Ja. Schreibt einfach ihr mal in die Kommentare, was ihr davon haltet. Also ich finde es unglaublich traurig, weil ich finde, auch wenn Luna nicht wirklich ein Mensch ist, ist sie wohl charakterlich die beste Person in dem ganzen Spiel. Da kann man auch sagen, das ist eine einprogrammierte Persönlichkeit oder sowas, ist egal. Dieser Charakter ist, man kann sehen, sie hat Gefühle eindeutig, sie hat Ängste, sie hat Befürchtungen, sie hat Hoffnungen. Und auf die Art zu enden, ist einfach traurig. Und wenn man dann auch sieht, wie sie dann nach und nach zerfällt und ja. Es ist eine harte Szene, finde ich. Und zwar auf eine ganz andere Art, als wenn man sieht, wie jemand beispielsweise in irgendeinem Spiel umgebracht wird oder sowas. In diesem Fall ist das diese Ohnmacht, weil du kannst da nichts dran ändern. Und ja. Vor allem sieht man an dieser Szene aber auch, diese 3 Robotergesetze gelten für sie nicht. Sie entscheidet sich dafür, diese zu befolgen. Weil ansonsten hätte sie gar nicht die Möglichkeit gehabt, Menschen sterben zu lassen. Das ist auch so eine Sache, denn bei den Robotergesetzen heißt es ja, die überlagern einander. Die zweite Regel wird, also Befehle befolgen, wird nur befolgt, wenn sie der ersten nicht widerspricht. Das heißt, wäre Luna wie so ein Roboter bei Asimov programmiert gewesen, hätte sie sich gar nicht anders entscheiden können, als die Leute zu retten. Aber in diesem Fall hat wohl, ja, ich sag mal, das 3. Gesetz schwerer gewogen, die Angst zu sterben. Und dann halt wirklich zu sterben. Ich sag mal, wenn so ein Golem beschädigt werden würde oder sowas, wäre das ja vollkommen egal. Da kann man eine neue Plattform bauen und dann die KI wieder drauf spielen. Das ist kein Thema. Aber das... Wie gesagt, ich finde diese Szene einfach auf eine ganz eigene Art sehr bewegend. Und das, finde ich, ist auch so wieder was Typisches für Zero Escape. Also, dass es solche Momente gibt. Sei es im ersten Teil, in dem Akane in Junpeis Armen stirbt, oder jetzt halt hier diese Szene. Oder auch im 3. Teil gibt es eine sehr schöne, zum Glück auch eine sehr rührende Szene. Aber das hier... Ja. Ich hoffe, euch hat diese Sache auch so bewegt wie mich. Und ja. Ich weiß gar nicht mehr, was ich da noch zu sagen soll. Ich habe jetzt schon eigentlich viel zu lange gelabert. Beende ich die ganze Sache hier erstmal. Wir sehen uns in der nächsten Folge wieder. Lasst ein Däumchen da, wenn es euch gefallen hat. Theorien, Gedanken zu der Folge, eure Meinung zu Lunas Tod und so weiter in die Kommentare. Das Spiel nähert sich langsam dem Ende, auch wenn die Folgen jetzt wahrscheinlich wieder sehr lang werden und mal schauen. Bis zum nächsten Mal. Cheerio.